Hi guys, welcome to episode 19 of my knitting podcast. My name is Claudia and welcome here on Claudia's Knits, the place where I like to talk about all my knitting projects, mostly colorful knits. And yes, so today I'm wearing my Elisabeth blouse, which I showed you in the last episode because it was finished then, and it's just one of my favorite finished objects that I've maybe ever made. I just love this cool girl color. I love how this fits. It's quite big, but that's exactly how I wanted it, and it feels really relaxed fitting. So for this episode I have one finished object and 3 whips. Also I have some new yarn, but I forgot to bring that with me, so I'll keep that in the end. So let's get started with my first finished object, and it's my storm sweater. I did it. It's finally finished. I wasn't expecting this to be finished just yet for this episode, but it's been like 3 weeks since filming. I had a week of work in between. I got sick, so I had quite a lot of knitting time in between these episodes. So here it is. And the storm sweater is an all over textured drop shoulder sweater. It's a pattern by Petiteknit, and the Elisabeth blouse is also by Petiteknit, by the way. And in case you're wondering, I knitted this in Filcolana Pernilla, which is a sport weight yarn in the foresty green color. I knitted this on heel size 3, I believe. But I sized up and made a size extra large. Anyways, you can hear all about this in my episode number 18. But this is the storm sweater. So, as you can see, the double folded collar. It has the drop shoulder, and then you have all these sections. There are 4 sections, pattern repeats in total, like 4 different. So you have a broken rib stitch one, or like a ribbing, but in between it's broken rib. Then you have this, I call them diamond shapes with purl stitches. Then you have these diagonals, and then you have like a little bit of a purl bumps. And in between you have these 2 rows of pearls. And yeah, so this whole texture is made with knits and pearls, so it is quite easy. Although in the back, as you can see, this is made with short row shaping. So you do have to do short row shaping while in texture. It's a little bit figuring out in the beginning, but there are videos with this pattern, and I really liked knitting this, especially the first part. The first part, I remember that was back in December. It went by so quick and I really loved this. And then I had a slump, as you guys know, if you see my previous podcast. And now with the last episode, I had 1 sleeve finished. And the body, I think I was done with this section. And I said back then, maybe I want to do 1 section, maybe 2, because the pattern calls for, after this diamond section, for the next, which I obviously didn't do. And I really love how the fit of this sweater turned out. I made the size medium, and I said it before, normally I'm a size large with Petiteknit patterns, actually between a large and an extra large. But for this one I really wanted to size down a little bit because it calls for so much positive ease. I think, well, probably 25 centimeters of positive ease. Didn't really want to do that. And the difference between a medium and a large is just the length and not the chest circumference. So I made a size medium because I know I want my sweaters a little bit shorter because I'm a really short person. And with the sleeve I also omitted the last last section, and went to the ribbing. And I just love how it fits. Like, insert clip here. I think this is one of my better fitting sweaters that I made, at least recently. I feel like the last couple of months, they turn out to be way oversized. Like all of them turn out super oversized, and this is oversized, and I want that. But sometimes I don't want all my sweaters to be oversized. Like my Sonia sweater is huge, my Ingrid sweater is big, this is big, my sweater number 18 turned out too big. I feel like this one hits the spot just right. So I wrote down the measurements so I can calculate, or maybe next time, keep that in mind. I have my knitting journal here so I can look that up. And let's see. In the end, I have a circumference of 122 centimeters, which means about 22 centimeters of positive ease. I feel like it's less than that. It fits like it's less, but maybe because it's more cropped. I like the length on me. And with the sweater number 18, it's a little bit longer. The Ingrid sweater I made so much longer because I had trouble with gauge. And with this sweater, I like it tucked in the front. But when the sweaters are really big and a little bit longer, I like them just hanging loose. So yeah. Also, I measured it before blocking. So like the width before blocking and after blocking, it grew 6 centimeters in total. The length grew with blocking 1 centimeter. Length of the sleeve grew almost 5 centimeters. But usually with my sleeves, they shrink back up after wearing, and my gauge is almost the same with blocking. It changed a little bit, of course, but I think mostly all those purl stitches are now laying nice and flat. I knitted this all needle size 3.25 instead of the recommended 4 because I'm a loose knitter. I definitely try to knit a little bit tighter. I tried it these last couple of months to hopefully prevent that trouble in the future, but my hands really had a rough time sometimes while knitting this. The collar I think I did on 2.5, and on the cuff for the sleeves I think 2.25, so it's nice and tight, but I like that look. I think it looks quite sporty. I just liked it for this sweater. And the body I think I did on 2.5 or 2.75, a little bit looser than on the sleeve, but it looks really nice and tight. I do the ribbing with such small needles on my Chal red lace minis, so it gets nice and tight anyway. Not comfortable to knit for my hands, but for the ribbing I'll have to do that for the result. So yeah, I felt like I had trouble finishing this. I wasn't really motivated to work on this. I wanted this sweater to be finished just because I want to be able to wear this. But in the end, when I put in a progress tracker, like a marker in between, it went by so fast. And this last section here, that diamond shape, I think it was the most fun for me to knit. Well, at least in a round. I liked it on the sleeves and here on the body, here on the top. Not so much when you have to do the same pattern on the wrong side of your work. Also because I knew the decreases on the sleeve are within the chart that's in the pattern, so I didn't change the decreases. So right now you can see that all the patterns just keep, I can't find words, but here on this section you can see that it doesn't line up perfectly, but with this section it does, and here also. So that's all charted, the decreases, and I kept that, but I knew I would have less decreases because I wouldn't do the last section. So after these 2 purl rows, I did an extra knit row with extra decreases, so it's kind of a rapid decrease here. I feel like I said increases, decreases, you know what I mean. But I don't think it shows all that much. I did the extra decreases like 8 stitches in. Yeah, so over here, you can't see it when I wear it, and I didn't want like 4 decreases in 2 rows over at the same point. So that's the modification that I did, other than the length, but that's it. I stuck to pattern with the double folded collar, and I really like how this has turned out, and I'm really glad I get to wear this for hopefully a couple of weeks at least, while it's still a little bit winter. I mean, I'm really want it to be spring. I need the sun. But yeah, the upside to winter is wearing my nice winter knits. But I don't know about you, but when I'm thinking about my knitting plans, I feel a little bit stuck. But because I don't want to start a whole sweater. Like this is probably, I won't say definitely, but probably my last wintry sweater for this season. Because now when I'm filming this, it's the 28th of February, so I feel like if I start now, then the sweater, my next new sweater, will be finished in April, May, end of April, somewhere in May, 2 months I think I can do a sweater. Well, maybe less, but then I want lighter stuff, so as maybe like this, because this is a thinner knit, although this will keep me warm still for quite some time. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I love the sweater. I haven't talked about the yarn. The yarn is Sandnes Garn Double Sunday in the color 9071, I believe. It's Dusty Olive, I think it's called. And I wanted a color that was light enough so that it shows the texture, but not the beigey color or light gray color you see everywhere on Instagram. I'm not a beige person, and I didn't want it to be cream because I have a whole lot of cream fabric bought sweaters, but I do want to have a cream sweater. That's for next year. So yeah, finished object for this episode. Next time you will see me wearing this probably, well, I still can. Then on to my next sweater, and this is a thinner knit, and I started this over a month ago, so you have seen this whip before, and it's my fingering weight sweater that I'm making with hand-dyed yarn from my friend Fem from the Mindfulcreators. I bought this yarn at a crafts fair, and it's a tangly mess, of course. Anyways, the yarn that I'm using, as you can see, has a whole lot of pink speckles and a little bit of blue, a little bit of green. And the pink sometimes is a little bit more of a tan color, sometimes hot pink leaning to purple. This is her Flowy fingering base in the color Field of Flowers. So it's from her first cottage collection. And it's one of my favorites because, you know, I love pink. And I really wanted to make a sweater with this yarn, with fingering weight hand-dyed yarn, but I don't want to hold this together with mohair because I can't stand mohair all that well. It itches too much. Also, this is a little bit more economical, and this is what I have so far. So the yoke is finished, and as you can see, this is a raglan sweater with a double folded collar. Raglan increasing on 4 parts. I split for sleeves and I did a couple of centimeters below that, just a little bit. And I'm using the Monday sweater by Petiteknit as a guidance for what I'm doing, but I'm modifying it quite heavily on all the numbers to make it a fingering weight version, because the Monday sweater is a DK weight sweater. It calls for a fingering held with mohair on needle size 4. I'm knitting on needle size 3 and I really wanted to start with the fabric. So I swatched with needle size 3. I like the look of that and the feel. So that was my starting point. Looked at my gauge and then went from there. But I couldn't find a fingering weight pattern that I liked. And with hand-dyed yarn, I feel like a raglan sweater suits it best. I don't feel like a drop shoulder sweater suits the delicate fabric that you get, because this is a lot thinner. It has more drape. It's really fine knit. It's finer than this. So I think raglan suits it better, and I really want something plain because the yarn, the fabric is like, there's happening enough. It is not the most flattering color on me. I do have my dark hair, but I feel like brighter colors suit me better. But I just love this. So let's look at it how it's on right now. I'm struggling a little bit with how much positive ease I'm getting. But I do think I have like a couple of centimeters at least. So this will be also an experiment with managing or making a sweater that's not like big and loose and oversized, but a little bit more form-fitting. I say a little bit more because compared to other people, this probably will be loose-fitting. For me, I don't think so. I'm filming shots for a complete like separate video for the making process of this sweater. So that will be up when it's finished. But in that video, I want to take you all with what I did, how I calculated or decided how many stitches to cast on, how I did the raglan, how I divided the raglan increases, how much further I did the yoke, with lots of trying on. So that's an experiment also making that video. So yeah, with raglan, one of the upsides of making a raglan sweater is that you can try it on lots of times when you're knitting it, and then you can try it on and see how much longer the yoke you want to be. So with this sweater as well, the yoke is, well, it's not too deep. I think this is quite decent, but my first Monday sweater has a yoke that's really low and I didn't want to do that. And in the back you can see a whole lot of markers. This is just these are my progress markers. And I kept doing that for the whole yoke because I needed the motivation with knitting on it. No, the purple ones, I'm sorry, are just for counting stitches, so every 10th row. And then the white ones are markers or progress trackers. And as you can see, I did quite a lot in some sessions. I mean, it's fingering weight yarn, and at the end of the yoke, I think I had more than 400 stitches, so you can count out how long they take me. But this is the back, this is the front. I'm working with 2 strands at the same time. So after the short row shaping, I started with the helical knitting to alternate the skeins to prevent pooling. And so far, it's not pooling at all. But I think with speckled yarn, it's also safer. So I'm working with the 2 skeins right now and I have 1 extra skein. I don't think I will make too much of a hassle of it or too much work with alternating the skeins all through the sleeves as well. Most of the time I want to knit a little bit more on the body, like 3 inches maybe, and then start doing the sleeves and finish the body afterward. But with alternating, and I only have 1 other skein, I will need to work from the outside and keep that one attached from the inside, preferably, because I don't want to attach another yarn if I don't have to. So I don't know how I will do that, but I will let you know once I do. So this is my as I said, the storm sweater is my last winter sweater. This is like the nice spring sweater. And hopefully I really like it. I like how it fits. It fits like perfectly for me, I feel like. So yeah, I'm really excited about this, and if I like doing this, then I can do it more with all the beautiful yarn, and then have my own pattern for a fingering weight, because I'm like making notes of everything. So I don't know what I can say more about this. So let's get on to the next project. I'm not working with mohair, but I feel like I fluff anyways. Now I'm on to tea. Next project's also quite a long one. I think I started this in December. And it's my Camisole number 9 by my favorite things knitwear. And I finally feel like it's becoming like a tank top. So, ta-da! I've made so much progress since last time, because I think last time I didn't even have joined in the round, and now I have quite a bit, and I have the collar done, the neckline. So this is a sleeveless top by my favorite things knitwear and fingering weight yarn. The yarn that I'm using is Knitting for All of Merino in the color Bordeaux, which is a nice deep purpley red Bordeaux-ish color. I think it's more purple than red. But I bought this yarn in Copenhagen when I was there in October, I guess. I'm knitting this on needle size 2.5, and I'm quite on gauge with the pattern, so I'm really happy with it. I think my row gauge is a little bit smaller. Normally my row gauge is bigger, but width-wise I'm on gauge, so yay me. But I needed to go down needle size. You start at the front pieces, so you start a little bit small here, and then you increase a lot, then you do the other front part, you join that, knit for a bit with increases at the armholes, and then you pick up stitches, first one side then the other side, join that, and as you can see the back is higher than the front. You join that and do increases at the bottom for the armhole, and then you join everything in a round and work until your hand falls off, it feels like. And here as well I have a lot of progress markers, and that really, really helps for me, especially with this fingering weight project. And as you can see, like sometimes I really did so much. I really enjoy working on this. I don't really enjoy that it takes me so long per se, but I really like how this fabric turns out, because as you can see, it's not see-through. It's really a sturdy fabric, has a little bit less of a drape, but it's supposed to have negative ease. I think the recommended ease is 10 to 15 centimeters negative ease, if I say that correctly. So I'm knitting in size large, just my regular size as well for this designer. And I already did the neckline. So you pick up stitches all the way around and it has this detail, as you can see. It's like, looks like a braid. And I really like how it looks, like on pictures with everyone else. I feel like it needs a good block. Right now it creases a little bit, but it needs a good block. Also that the neckline is laying flat, but it's just a knitted neckline, knitted fabric, and then folded down and sewed onto the top. So it is the normal way is you pick up stitches from the right side, you knit a bit, and then you fold it down and you knit it together with the cast on edge. basically, and I really like doing that. For this one, you do it the other way around. So you're knitting from the wrong side and you fold it down onto the right side, if you get what I'm saying. And if you need to sew that down. And I did that the last 2 nights and I really hated doing that. I don't know what everyone else feels about this, but I don't like it. I like the look of it, but my yarn is so dark and doing this at night, even with my neck lights, it was a bit of a pain in the ass and I skipped sometimes some stitches because who has time or the patience to sew down in every stitch? But this is how the inside looks like. So sometimes it's a little bit more like the smaller pieces are a little bit neater, and then sometimes I have a little bit more gaps in between, but I think it will be fine. I still need to do the arm sleeve holes, and I will do that in the same manner, but if I would make this top again, maybe I would do a different neckline, just a ribbed one or a normal folded neckline, but sew it down at the inside so you can't see it and it's way easier. I have a clip of me trying it on. It's not bra friendly at all at this stage, and when the neckline wasn't in here, it was horrible. It looked horrible on. So now the neckline is in, it looks so much better, I do have to say, and I think it will look really nice when the armhole edges are done, but I don't think it will be bra friendly for me. This pattern is meant to be bra friendly, but my style of bras, maybe it doesn't work with this pattern, with this shape, but it's just what I find most comfortable to wear. I'd have them. So I want to wear this top mostly as a layering piece, like underneath my cardigan, especially cardigan number 8, you know, my confetti cardigan. I believe I wore that last time. I want to wear this as a layering piece. So in that case, I wouldn't mind too much, but I don't know if I'm making this exact top again. I need to have it finished first. The length, as you can see in the clip, I think I need like 2 or 3 inches, maybe. Nah, 3 inches, and then I can do the bottom hem. You know me, I'm short, so that saves a little bit. And I'm working with I have one skein and this worked up. I already started with my 3rd skein for the edging because this is still attached, but I don't think I will need 3 whole skeins. So that's nice. I really love how it looks, how the fabric looks, and I think it will be wonderful with blocking, and I love how it feels. I'm not really sure about the shape, and I need to trust it. The first time when I tried this on, and as I said, it fitted horrible. It looked like a mess. Then I was really bummed because there is so much work on this, so many hours of work. So yeah, now I'm feeling positive about it. I'm really excited to finish this. A little bit late for a layering piece, but who cares? So technically it's a summer top. You can wear this as a summer top, but because of the fabric, it's merino, it's 100% wool. I don't think this would work as a summer top for me. I would get hot way too easily, and I think I would prefer like a cotton merino base. But that's for future plans. And then last project, and this is a new one, and I'm really excited about this, and I'm making this, and it's my sweet shop blanket by Laura Penrose from Penrose Knits. And I'm trying to work slowly on this because this is so much fun. If you need a comforting project, this is it. And I have the idea of making this ever since Copenhagen, or maybe before that, because when I saw the pattern I really wanted to make it. And I bought the yarn in Copenhagen. So this is what I have so far. So I have 7 triangles, almost squares finished. And I want to make this one for my living room because I think, as you can see, it suits it really well. There are 2 tones of pink because I want quite a lot of pink in this. I have the purple I have from my Camisole, then an orangey brown, a rusty brown that's coming up a little bit more red on screen, another brown and green, and I have one more color that I can show you. So yeah, this is just a garter, these are garter squares that you start from the bottom and you do the increases with short rows or just regular increases, and then you attach the main color. And for the main color I'm using Filcolana Arwetta, which is a sock. Is this a sock yarn? Now I'm doubting myself. I think so. Just for a little bit more sturdiness. I need to look it up. Otherwise I'm going to be bothered by it. I don't have it here. Well, doesn't matter. I'm using the color Marzipan, and I really like how neutral it looks, and it isn't too harsh of a color with the other colors. I mean, you have white and you have white and you have off-white and etc. So I really like the look of this, and I really like knitting at this, as I said. So I said to myself that I can do maximum 3 squares per week. And to be honest, 1 triangle, like, it takes some time. Don't underestimate how much time it costs to do 1 triangle. But I don't want to have this finished in like a month or maybe 2 months even. I want a whole blanket. So I'm aiming for a little bit like the largest size, which is a throw, but I want like a big one. And it can be finished for next winter. So I really like my color palette. By the way, this is how the back looks like, because I was looking for pictures of the back of the blanket and I couldn't find them on Instagram. So if you're curious, you can see the line. In garter you always have that line if you switch colors. And this is like the braidy detail that you get when picking up stitches. I think the joining points are a little bit of a mess. That's mostly why I really wanted to look at other people's blankets and the back, just to look if I did it correctly. I'm not sure, I'm just winging it. I try to weave in the ends as I go, but I like keeping a little bit sometimes on there so I can tie knots with them. Like, for example, here I tied the knots of the one. No, that's not saying. What am I saying? Well, sometimes, like at the intersection, let's call it that, I like to tie knots from one side with the other side and then sew them in. Just for a little bit more sturdiness. And this is how the front looks. So it's beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. The yarn, as I said, Filcolana Arwetta for the main color and Marzipan, and all the other colors are Knitting for Olive. So the purpley one is Bordeaux. Then I have Mole. This one is not brown. That's the one that I haven't used yet. Then I have Rust. That's brighter on screen than in real life. Terracotta Rose. Plum Rose, I believe, which is a little bit darker. I ordered this one online and I think it's a little bit too similar for Terracotta Rose, Hey, pink, don't mind. Then I have this green color. I need to look it up. And this orangey color. So this is my color palette. And now I want the names. Plum rose, rust, dusty olive, that's the green one. Copper, this is copper. So originally I had bought 5 colors in a sale in Copenhagen. And then I was working on this, or I started with this for like a little bit, and I figured out I have not enough yarn for all the squares that I want to do, because you get approximately 5 squares with 1 color. Maybe I will get 6, but 5, and I had 5 colors, so 5 times 5, 25 squares is not even a lap blanket. So I ordered online just from Knitting for Olive, the website itself, and I chose 3 extra colors, and I have like 2 of every color. So now it probably will be too big, but who cares? So these are rust and copper, and this is not brown, and mole is like a cooler toned brown, like between brown and gray, and this is the dusty olive. This is autumn, right? And then the 2 pinks. Yeah, they're really similar, but I don't mind that. I like that it's a little bit more heavy on the pink. And I really, like I said, want this to be fitting for my living room, or maybe even in the future on my bed or something. Although I want to make another one. I'm already like saving up yarn for that, as you may know. But I want to keep this slow because, to be honest, because I'm not using scrap yarn, but I'm buying yarn for this, this is an expensive project, like the most expensive project that I've ever made. Because my sweaters, like the Storm sweater, or maybe my Ingrid sweater, I think was a little bit more expensive, but the Storm sweater with the double Sunday, I think it was more than 100 euros. Maybe, and I have 2.5 skein left. I think I used around 11 skeins, maybe a little bit less. So not all that much, because that's one of the upsides of being small. But this is like double the price, and it's not even something I'm going to wear. So I want to enjoy the making process as much as I can. And it will be cheaper when you're using scrap yarns, of course, but I don't have a whole lot of scrap yarns, and I don't have a lot of scrap yarns that like fit together well in the thickness of the yarn, but also the color story that I want to make. So yeah, that's my last project. Next time will maybe be twice as big, maybe not, if I can keep myself under control and don't knit as much on it. But I will show you this probably for the foreseeable future every time, just so you can watch it grow a little bit more. And then, like I said, I have some new yarn, but I need to get that from my yarn stash, so hang on a minute. Okay, I grabbed my yarn, and it's again from my friend from the Mindfulcreators. I just can't help myself. I'm in love with her pink yarn. So this is a mini set from her Valentine's Day collection, and you could choose your own bundle. So I chose these colors. I especially love like this. It's like a darker dusty pink, a really light, cooler dusty pink, just regular pink, a lavender color, and a brighter purpley color. And of course, this will go into my next sweet shop. So I grabbed the other colors. I showed you these last time. But these are also all mini skeins from her that I bought at the fair, or I got as a present. So this will be the theme of my other sweet shop. So pink, everything pink and all different kinds of pink. So some of the yarns are like really obviously more hand dyed and are speckled. I have one here as well that's like a cooler tone. I know I showed you last time, but I'm in love. Can't help myself. This is basically Field of Flowers minus the blue and green speckles, and my everything that I will have left from my Field of Flowers sweater will go in this. And also maybe if I have some pink yarn left from my other sweet shop and it's large enough, it can probably go in with this pile as well. So this is my fun pink, yeah, blanket. And I want to start this not for the foreseeable future. So maybe next winter, next fall, especially if I want some happiness like this. Seriously, this is happiness for me and I need it right now. But I'm not going to talk about that. I think that's all I want to show you, except for 1 or 2 more things. And those are books that I haven't showed you before. But last month it was my birthday and I went to the fair and I bought some books. I don't think I have shown you. So here in my cute like shelving unit, I have my knitting books here. So I have my knitting journal, LP. I didn't know of this journal. I saw it there and apparently it's known for the love of wool. Anyways, like this is how I use it. So you have all the information you can fill in. And then I have a photo printer. So this is a photo I put on Instagram. So I printed that out. But this is just for me for keepsakes and the mittens from last time. I need to make pictures from a storm so I can put it in here. So that's the first one. This one I got from my knitting friends, my offline knitting friends. For my birthday, it's a Knitting for Olive book. And I really love just looking at this and I really want to make something from it. Don't have any exact plans. And I already saw some things online, but I feel like this suits me, or at least like having this. Like look how stunning this looks on her. I love the pictures in this book. They're so beautiful. Like this, if I want to make a camisole, it will probably be this one. And I have yarn for camisoles, so I can do that. Now I just want to show you my favorites. Oh yeah. This is the, I already made the Barbour top by Knitting for Olive this summer. And the Barbour blouse is in here. I don't see myself wearing this, but I loved making the Barbour top, so it looks so beautiful. And there's one other project that I really like and I really want to make sometime. And that's this wrap sweater. So it's a ribbed, I think 2x2 ribbed wrap. And I don't think that is my style of clothing at the moment. Like this really reminds me of when I was a teenager and I wore mostly dresses and skirts at that time. And I really liked wearing these wrap cardigans that are shorter on top of dresses. But I feel like that's so the teenager me. And now I would wear this on top of jeans. But it's a little bit too tight fitting for me. So we'll see. Maybe next year. And then I have, no, that's not a friend for my gifts. I bought this one myself at the fair. This one was a gift from my friends. Sorry. So this is 52 weeks of scarves. I like the 52 weeks, like whole collection. Socks, I'm not really a sock knitter. And what other styles do you have? The shawls I know, or accessories. But I looked at this one also at the fair, but I chose the other one. I really want to make this one sometimes. So I was looking through this morning even, again, to look at what I would like to make. But for this moment, for this month, I don't want to buy any new yarn. I recently bought the Knitting for Olive yarn, or did this mini skein set, and I really want to stop buying yarn for a little bit. Like, moving has been so expensive. So I want to save up a little bit, and I already have yarn in stash for summer tops or something like that. So I want to be inspired by my own yarn stash for now. Or I want to look at a pattern that I come across online and I really like get inspired. That new mini scarf by Lily Kate makes, especially the two-toned version with a pink and an orange, that screams my name. But it's in testing right now, so I will probably make that. But firstly, maybe with my own yarn that I already own. I really love this scarf as well, with the subtle details. I'm just flipping through this right now. But look how beautiful. This book unfortunately doesn't have mini scarves, which is a miss, I think. I think that's a shame. Anyways, it's a really beautiful book and I really want to make something from it. But what I was rambling about is that I really like the idea of working from stash a little bit more and only getting new yarn if I really am excited about something. And I would like to make like the porcelain sweater, but that's a winter sweater, so I think I want to make that in winter. I'm getting a little bit inspired to redo projects or fix projects, and I'm thinking about redoing a hat. I made an Oslo hat last year, and you can look that up in an old podcast, but it's too small, especially lengthwise. I think I needed a little bit more length, but maybe I will do the whole thing because my tension is way different now than a year before. My champagne cardigan, I'm thinking about frogging that one and just making another champagne cardigan with the yarn because I like the yarn. It was Woolly Hood from Novita, which is a chain net yarn with cotton and wool, I think. Don't know anymore. It's a navy color and I like the cardigan. I like the champagne cardigan. I like the double knitted bottom band and I like how it looks. But again, that was a pattern with DK weight with like mohair. I didn't use any mohair, so my gauge was off and I think the fabric is too loose. So you can see it's really see-through. I don't like the fit, so maybe I will frog that and start it again. So that's what I wanted to show you. And now I'm really wrapping this up. So these are my whips, what I'm working on at the moment. I think for next time it will probably mostly be my camisole and my sweater, but also I think one of my redo projects, and we'll see what I want to do next. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a lovely time knitting with me, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.